Welcome back to Movin' Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. It's the podcast where we watch The Great Muppet Caper 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I am your host, Ryan Rowe.
I'm your other host, Anthony Strand.
And today we have a guest who is back with us once again, having joined us not only for the Muppet movie, but also 2 TV specials. In between, guest, who are you?
Who am I? I am Joe Hennis, and I am the co-owner and editor-in-chief of toughpigs.com, the sponsor of the podcast that you're listening to right now.
Wow.
Also exciting, you were here 4 times on the Muppet movie, and all of them were either opening or closing credits.
I know, and I joked that I like the minutes where you get to read because the movie's really boring, and I just want to read a book.
Yeah,
and now you got the boring minutes again, man. Let's do it.
I do, and I'm actually really excited to talk about these minutes, which I originally chose because I love John Cleese, and now I'm actually unironically excited to talk about simply because they are so boring.
That is funny that you ended up with something that is entertaining because it's boring.
Yeah.
So what minutes is it, Ryan?
And that thing is minutes 37 and 38 of The Great Muppet Caper, in which Kermit arrives at 17 Highbrow Street while the residents of the house continue their stimulating chat. And as this clip begins, Miss Piggy is continuing to sneak through the house at 17 Highbrow Street from the upstairs. I gotta say, I'm not exactly sure what her plan is here. Obviously, she wants to be in the house when Kermit shows up, but then what? Has she thought that far ahead?
I think she just wants to meet him at the door, right? And I mean,
she just wants to intercept him at the door and hopefully not get caught by the people who live there.
Well, and I have to wonder, did she expect nobody would be home? Maybe, maybe she's maybe I'll get lucky and there won't be anyone there, and I can just pretend it's my house, no big deal.
Right. I mean, this whole thing, she's very nothing's gonna stop her. She's kind of fearless in this endeavor. So,
and I know you guys talked about this last week, but the whole thing where she's scaling the side of the house and she's breaking in through the window and whatever, and it's obviously, like you say, nothing's going to stop her to get inside that house. But I don't know. I think this has a lot to do with Frank Oz's performance and how I don't know what the name of the look on her face would be, because she's not dumbfounded. She's not surprised. She's just kind of there.
At what point are you thinking?
Well, I'm specifically thinking of when the couple are having their conversation and maybe even when the doorbell rings and she's just kind of looking around. She's not panicked at any point. Right. But she's definitely you could almost see the gears grinding in her mind of what's next.
Right. She's thinking, she's not right that she's not panicking, but she's thinking, what do I do?
Right. And, maybe the truth is that she had no plan. And she would figure it out as she went along. And honestly, despite the fact that her plan works, spoilers, she she doesn't really do anything. She just kind of breaks in the house and then everything's fine.
It's true. Yeah.
Well, this is a pretty low stakes movie. It's
but this movie has gunplay and robberies. And,
right, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Is that
yes,
the consequences of none of that, none of those things have very dire consequences, as it turns out. Spoiler.
Right, and in a lot of other movies, there would probably be something here where, the residents were trying to chase her out of the house or something. But the fact that doesn't happen is what makes this that much funnier.
That's true.
Because everything is so low key.
Yeah, it's kind of hysterical that nothing happens.
Right. Speaking of nothing happening, this couple is continuing their conversation, including Neville, played by John Cleese, telling his wife, played by Joan Sanderson, what he would buy if he were bored. As Piggy's making her way down the stairs, we can hear him mention cheese or a quail's egg. Those seem like very British things to want to buy somehow to me. And maybe just because I'm thinking of John Cleese on the Monty Python cheese shop sketch.
I think cheese is a British thing. Wallace and Gromit, they love cheese.
Yeah.
British people love cheese and crackers and stuff. That's a thing, right?
That's true. Yeah, British people love cheese. Steve Urkel is not British, but he loves cheese.
And all mice are British. I don't know if you knew this.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, yes. And I assume that the British eat more quail's eggs than we do, but I don't have any statistics to back that up.
Well, can I tell you guys what?
What?
Yes.
I made quail's eggs today.
No way.
That is amazing.
Yeah, you guys both knew that. In preparation for this podcast, I bought an 18-pack of quail's eggs, which is equivalent to 4.5 chicken eggs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And so my wife and I each had, my wife Rosalind, who's been on the show before, we both had a 9 quail egg omelet with goat cheese in honor of quail's eggs and cheese in the movie.
Oh, that's sweet.
Pretty much just tasted like an omelet. I wish I had something exciting to say about quail's eggs, but I would just buy a chicken egg.
So let me ask you this. Were you bored before you went to the store to buy them?
No, I was thrilled. I was hopped up on the idea of eating quail's eggs.
So the opposite of the experience that Neville would have had. Yes.
So maybe I should have been bored.
Right.
That I could go to the store and buy something.
This is the very first time you ever tried a quail egg, yeah?
Correct.
And it didn't taste that much different than a chicken's egg?
No, and maybe the goat cheese, goat cheese has a very strong flavor too. So maybe that kind of masked whatever the intricacies of the quail egg are. But yeah, I didn't notice much of a difference.
Well, we'll be talking about that more next week on our cooking podcast.
That's going to be good. We're actually going to watch Muppet's Kitchen with Kat Cora.
Yeah.
2 minutes at a time.
Oh, exactly.
That sounds like torture.
Get ready for lots and lots of Angelo.
Angelo. I was just about to ask what his name was. I couldn't remember.
Angelo is one of my 4 favorite Muppets.
He's my 9th favorite Muppet that has that has real hands.
That's good. My top 4 favorite Muppets are Angelo, Mo Frackle, Kylie, and PJ.
That's a good list.
Kylie and PJ are separate Muppets in this. They don't get teamed up in one category.
They're both special in their own ways.
Yeah.
Oh,
they have their own personalities.
They both.
One of them sounds like
aliens.
Yeah, one of them sounds like Elmo, and the other one sounds like, I don't know, Camille Bonara.
There you go. For those who don't know what we're talking about, Kylie and PJ were little kid Muppet characters from the Jim Henson Play Along video series that was released on VHS. You said Mo Frackle?
Said Mo Frackle from when the Muppets were on Family Feud against the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah, Mo Frackle is this character who was created exclusively for the Muppets to appear on Family Feud. And of course, Angelo, the chef character from the Muppets Kitchen with Kat Cora, he has human hands, much like the Swedish chef.
And here's the thing, everybody listening, these minutes we're talking about, not a whole lot is happening.
It's true.
So this podcast is going to be like 10 minutes long unless we talk about, Angelo and Mo Frackle and their friends.
Right. Well, another person who has real hands is John Cleese.
Segue. Wow, that was smooth.
Thank you very much. Who continues just cleaning his pipe as the scene goes on. There's just something I find so amusing about the way he just keeps tapping away at that thing, like sort of oblivious to everything that's happening around him.
Yeah, as a kid, I remember I didn't know what he was doing because I didn't know any pipe smokers, and even if I did, I think my dad owned a pipe, but I never saw him smoke it. I think he just had it because it looked cool on his shelf. And but like from what I understand, like if you're cleaning a pipe, like it's more like you're scraping a bit because you're getting all the burnt stuff, like the tobacco off the pipe. So he's just like sitting there tapping, which maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is how you clean a pipe, but in retrospect doesn't seem like it.
No, I'm sure it's not a very effective, especially the way he does it. It's just very, just like tap. I don't think he's getting much done there.
And when he's like also obviously like a million miles away.
Yes, exactly. But I'm sure it's the highlight of his day.
Yes, right.
And by the way, these 2 stuffy British people are very nicely dressed for dinner for just the 2 of them at home.
Yeah, I love Neville's velvet jacket, that tuxedo jacket.
Yeah.
It reminds me very much of Gonzo's tuxedo from the old Muppet Show episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, it just looks like, I don't know, like it looks like the kind of thing where I could see someone wearing that to their own wedding today, like in 2019.
Sure.
Like it like came back around.
Yeah. And I don't know, I guess Dorcas's dress looks like something I would think of like you would see in a period piece, somebody wearing to a wedding maybe, or like a fancy, I don't know, some kind of fancy social gathering.
It kind of looks like what the angel on top of my parents' Christmas tree is wearing.
Oh.
It's just lots of unnecessary ruffles and like hiding whatever, is underneath, because there's nothing inside of that thing because it's supposed to be a tree topper.
If you can send a picture of that, I will put it in the show notes with a picture of her dress.
I'll do my best to find one.
All right.
It is June. That thing is in a box in Ohio.
Right.
So I have a theory about why Dorcas is so dressed up.
Go for it.
Okay, so in these minutes later on, I'm skipping ahead a little bit.
Sure.
But as long as we're on the topic of Dorcas's dress, Neville says he's going to go to the store, right? And she offers to come with him. And he says, that's not necessary, Dorcas. There's no need for you to leave the house. And of course, she dryly responds that she hasn't been outside for 12 years.
12 years.
12 years.
She hasn't been outside for 12 years. So I think she decided, she got all dressed up because at this dinner, she is going to breach the subject. She is going to bring up the idea that she's accompanying him to the store. She needs to look her best. This is it. This is the day she's going outside.
Well, you put a lot of thought into Dorcas's character motivations. Probably.
Sure, man. I love Dorcas. I love her. She's my favorite character in any movie ever.
She's right up there with Angelo.
Right up. Top 5 favorite characters of all. Okay, anyways.
I like that. So you don't think she's been wearing this every day, hoping that he'll invite her? This like this is the day. So it's not like a Mrs. Havisham in
no, because it looks like a very nice, well taken care of dress.
Yeah.
I don't think she's been wearing it every day. She has all kind of clothes to choose from.
I do like the idea that like she's well dressed. Maybe not necessarily to say like today's the day, but like just in case he's like, I don't know, you want to come with me to the store?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I'm ready to go. It's not gonna be like, hang on, I got to go put my face on. And then he goes, well, never mind if it's going to be a whole thing. And then they're stuck inside for another night. But no, she's
12
ready.
years.
She's ready to roll. Another 12. Which, by the way, can you imagine? Can you even imagine being stuck inside for 12 years? And like, I understand she is not like there against her will. No,
the way the scene is presented, she's very matter of fact about it. Like, I haven't been inside in 12 years. She doesn't really care.
Right. Well, and I like that his reasoning is that the weather's been most disappointing.
Yes, which calls back to a couple minutes ago when that's all they could talk about.
Yes. And the weather has been disappointing in the 12 years leading up to the Great Muppet Caper, to be fair. Did you go back and look at all the meteorological records? Yeah, isn't that part of the research?
Yeah.
The homework he gave me for
12 years of disappointing weather.
Well,
on Highbrow Street.
But also, like, don't forget, it's London, which has notoriously disappointing weather. Like that's like,
true.
The whole thing is like it's like constantly overcast and rainy.
Right. Like you open the newspaper and it said today's forecast disappointing.
Most disappointing.
Yes. So jumping back a little bit though, Dorcas is pressing Neville for more information on what he would buy if he were bored. And this time he thinks about it and says a jar of calf's foot jelly. So for many years, I thought he was saying Carlsford jelly, which I assumed was just you had that too?
I wrote that down as well. Carlsford jelly. That's hard to say.
I just assumed that was a brand of jelly that they had over there. But no, I don't know when I realized this. But in fact, he's saying calf's foot jelly. And I was content to leave it at that as far as my notes here for this.
I wasn't.
I was not content. So I hear. So
I was not. Okay, so let me tell you people.
Please do.
About my grand plan. So when I realized I had these minutes and we were going to be talking about calf's foot jelly, what I really wanted to do is go find some calf's foot jelly.
Which sounds disgusting, by the way. I don't know if I said that yet.
Totally sounds disgusting. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy some. And then Ryan and I, we both live in New York City. I was going to take it to Ryan's apartment and we were going to taste test calf's foot jelly live on this podcast. So the first thing I needed to do was figure out who sells calf's foot jelly. And
in the United States of America.
In the United States of America.
In the year 2019.
Correct. And, it's a delicacy in the UK. So I assume someone in the UK enjoys the cow's foot jelly. And actually, in my research, I also found out that Muppet Show guest star Zero Mostel loved cow's foot jelly, and he had his own recipe, and on which he wrote, "I'm mad about jelly cooking. So here's a great English dish that's good when you're sick and better when you're healthy. And no matter what you call it, a pleasant gas stays with you all day."
Oh boy!
And don't forget that was in Dinah Shore's Celebrity Cookbook. That is
right.
where you found it.
That is exactly where I found it. So anyway, I searched New York City. I called all these different places, and like nobody has cow's foot jelly. It just does not exist. So I called a friend of mine. Her name is Sarah Lohman, and she is a culinary historian, which is a real thing you can be, kids, if you dream.
Nice.
So what she does is she studies food history, and she uses it as a way to tell stories about history, about women and immigrants and people of color. And for example, like she might find an old recipe from World War I, and she'll find the same kind of food that they had back then that hasn't been, tainted by the way that we make food today for mass markets, and she'll find the same way that they made it with the same tools, and et cetera, et cetera. And she'll be able to tell a whole story about this. And she's very good at what she does, and I find it fascinating. So I was like, hey,
I assume Angelo the chef is one of her heroes.
Obviously.
Yes.
So she unfortunately didn't have too much advice for me, but she did explain to me like, okay, so you probably can't buy it anywhere. So what you're going to have to do is you have to call your local butcher, and you have to order calf's feet in advance because they generally don't have them in the counter.
Can I interject?
Yeah, please.
I called 7 butchers in the Twin Cities area to ask about buying cow's feet, and they all shot me down.
Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, so
did any of them seem to think that you were very strange for asking?
They all sounded a little surprised.
Yeah.
And actually, a coworker of mine, I work in a middle school. One of our 7th grade science teachers talked to the butcher who gives her the fetal calves that they dissect.
Oh wow!
Oh, yeah.
Or no. Sorry, that's wrong. She gets fetal pigs somewhere else. They dissect cow's eyes in 7th grade science.
Right.
And the butcher who gives her the cow's eyes would not give her cow's feet for me to make cow's foot jelly out of.
He's like, listen, I draw the line at feet.
Right.
So you guys were both considering making calf's foot jelly at home in your kitchens.
Well, yes, but
from
then
Zero Mostel's recipe.
Made. Yes. I was going to use Zero Mostel's recipe. But so my friend Sarah, she tells me what you have to do, and I'm cutting out some details here, but she says you boil the hell out of the feet. And then the gelatin, then the slime that rises to the top, it forms like this gelatin on top of the pot. And then you're supposed to scrape the gelatin and refine and flavor it and form it in a Jell-O mold. And that's what calf's foot jelly is, which sounds awful.
As if it didn't sound bad enough already.
But like, who's the one who like figured that out? Like who boiled a calf's foot? Like, oh, this is delicious.
Yeah.
And the Zero Mostel recipe says to refrigerate it, serve it cold over hard-boiled eggs.
Yes, which I also read was like the customary way to eat it is with hard-boiled eggs, which I don't know why, but and I also watched like a video and I saw someone doing it, and I was like, this is not coming into my house. I cannot make this, even if I could find calf's feet. And I was ready to just wipe my hands of the whole thing. Wash my hands of the whole thing and just say like, it's not going to happen. And then as I'm Googling, I find out it's not only a British delicacy, it's also a Jewish delicacy. And they call it something else. And they call it petcha. Petcha. I think I'm saying that right.
Is it Petach?
Well, it's not in using
isn't it like
alphabet.
Well, I mean,
like
transliterated.
Isn't it like P''TCHA or something?
Yeah, I've seen several different spellings of it, but the one I wrote down here to make sure I got it right for my own benefit is Petchah. Petcha. So then I start looking up Petcha, and which by the way, I also found out the name Petcha comes from the Turkish words Paka Korbasi, which literally translates to leg soup.
Whoa. That also makes me think of Pachalafaka from The Muppet Show.
Oh, that's what that means. You just wanted
They whisper it all over turkey.
You wanted some calf's foot jelly. Also, the petcha is apparently commonly served as an appetizer at Jewish weddings, which sounds like a curse, right?
Yeah. If like you're trying to be polite and not just say, no, I don't want to eat that. But yeah, no, that would be horrifying.
Yeah. So I find out that there's only one deli in all of New York City that sells it. I found on the 2nd Avenue Deli's website, on their menu, they sell petcha. And I was very excited. And I told you both how excited I was.
Yes, you were very excited.
And we were going to eat it and it was going to be great. And so this morning...
You were so excited you were quivering like a bowl of calf's foot jelly.
I was. God, well, I'm going to throw up. So I called... Thankfully, I called the deli this morning just like, as far as, maybe they run out very quickly or maybe they're like, oh, we don't have it today or whatever. And they said, no, we don't make it anymore. And I said, no. And but it's still on your website and they didn't seem to care. So I did some more Googling to see if there was anyone else, and I found several blog posts that were like, there's only one place in all of New York City that sells petcha, and it's 2nd Avenue Deli. And you know what? They're liars.
Yeah.
Man. Well, Joe, I'm so my heart goes out to you that you didn't get to try calf's foot jelly. Ryan, I am so relieved for you that you didn't have to try calf's foot jelly.
No, look, I'm on the record. I made it clear to Joe I was not planning on actually eating the jelly myself. I was going to watch him eat it and describe his reaction.
I would not have stood for that. You were going to eat it or else I was going to start tearing stuff off your walls.
Oh, wow. Well,
yes, I was prepared.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
Well, so in any case, so I can assume, despite the fact that it sounds disgusting, I would assume that because several British people who I respect, including Zero Mostel and whoever wrote that line, which it could have been John Cleese, that maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's just like a gelatin. Maybe it's Jell-O, and it just happens to have like a beefy odor to it or something.
Yeah. So
I was really actually looking forward to tasting it, and I'm very sad about that. But on the bright side, it gave us something to talk about.
Joe?
Yes, Anthony.
You're forgetting what Zero Mostel sounds like because he's from Brooklyn, my man.
Oh, right. Well, is he from Brooklyn? Really?
You think? Yeah, you've heard him talk. He's not British.
Well, well, yeah. But here's the thing. When I'm picturing him in my mind, he's singing with a British accent.
You're thinking of him singing What Do the Simple Folk Do on The Muppet Show.
Oh, you should watch The Producers. It's very good.
I've seen The Producers, but people do accents. I didn't know. I will admit I am wrong. I actually assumed that he was British because he's a good actor and he sometimes acts with kind of a bravado in his voice.
Sure.
Like when he does like on his Muppet Show episode when he does the fears of Zero. He does not sound like a guy from Brooklyn,
Well, that's true.
So
that was my Zero Mostel impression.
I guess I just
I'm Zero Mostel over here.
Like when I think of Zero Mostel, I think of I'm wearing a cardboard belt from The Producers, right?
Okay, fair enough.
So we have now associations of calf's foot jelly with John Cleese and Zero Mostel. We don't know what all the other Muppet Show guest stars thought of calf's foot jelly, but we will do some research on that.
Many of them are still alive.
It's true. Let's find out what Paul Simon thinks of calf's foot jelly.
Let's see what Brooke Shields thinks about calf's foot jelly.
Melissa Manchester loves calf's foot jelly.
That's what I heard. Wow. So if anyone is still listening, we can continue. So Dorcas would like to go with Neville. He says it's not necessary. She says she hasn't been outside in 12 years. So she might as well go because the children are gone, the pets are dead, and the butler's been discharged. We can't really... I don't know how old exactly these characters are supposed to be. I do think John Cleese is supposed to be playing a little bit older than he actually was at this time. How long ago do you think the children left and the pets died? And I mean, I guess 12 years is sort of our starting point here.
I mean, I would assume that like Dorcas may have gone to like a high school graduation or something. So maybe the kids have been out for 12 years.
Yeah. That seems plausible.
You would also think that like after 12 years with that kind of culture, like they would have married and had children, and maybe they would want to go see their grandkids.
And yeah. Or the kids would want to come back and visit occasionally.
Well,
maybe like she wants to go visit the butler who has been discharged.
Right.
She misses him.
What kind of pets do you think they had?
I guess a pig, apparently, because I thought you said the pets were dead.
Right. I was thinking maybe some kind of
acts like a pig.
Could be. I was thinking maybe like some corgis, like the Queen has. Maybe that just seems very British, also somehow.
Because Joan Sanderson kind of looks like the Queen.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
I would think that like they had some sort of like really low maintenance pet because they don't really seem motivated to do anything. So like,
That's
probably
true.
not a dog that they would have had to walk.
Right. That's a good
What
point.
that would be like a turtle.
Maybe like a hamster.
Yeah.
Or
like birds. She seems like a bird person.
Yeah, I could definitely see Dorcas raising birds.
Yeah.
And then we see the familiar green finger of another familiar animal, Kermit the Frog, ringing the doorbell. This completely baffles Neville.
Wait, can I just say what's really completely baffling about that?
Yeah.
Like, how does Kermit's finger, which we know is just a piece of felt, hit that doorbell and push it in?
But it could be like a special hand with like a stiff finger.
I mean, yeah, it could be, or it could be like they just straightened it and like the doorbell is being pushed from the other side or something. Like it could be any number of things. But the fact that like I don't know, like it's not immediately obvious of how Kermit pushes a doorbell, and makes you think of like someone wrote into the script like Kermit pushes the doorbell, and then someone had to go, wait a minute, how are we going to do that?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's easy to write. Actually, Joe, a Muppet. The writers of the Letters to Santa Muppet Christmas told us once when we were interviewing them, there are a lot of things with the Muppets that it's easy to write, but impossible to actually pull off on screen.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things where they really had to think about it. My guess is that they just either built a new Kermit hand, like just the hand with the straight finger, or just inserted some kind of rod or something inside Kermit's finger, but who knows?
I would assume that maybe it's like a photo puppet of Kermit, which would have fingers that have wires in them.
Right, it already has that armature.
Yeah, and like so they could pose the fingers however they want. And,
that seems likely.
Yeah, that would be my guess. And then it's probably a button that doesn't really need a whole lot of pressure to push in because but like still, I mean, like how great is that? Like it's such a simple little thing, and yet here we are discussing it at length.
Muppet movies are full of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some good doorbell talk, guys.
Yeah.
So Neville seems like he would just as soon keep cleaning his pipe with the tap, 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 tapping. Dorcas suggests they should answer the door while they try to decide who should answer it. Piggy yells, "I'll answer it," and heads for the door. So at this point, she has dropped all attempts at trying to be stealthy or trying to escape their notice.
Yes,
she's
and
just
continuing to have no plan whatsoever.
Right. But she's just desperate to see Kermit, so she's determined. So this is where Neville says, "I thought you said the pets were dead," which is a great line.
Such a great little button on that.
Yeah. And then here's Kermit at the door, and he has a little gift for her.
And the tiniest little white bow tie.
Yeah, I actually don't remember what is in this box if we ever get to see it. So
it's obviously a corsage, right?
I guess so. But I had forgotten that he had this little present for her. But that's a nice touch. Kermit starts to say he's never been inside, and that's where this clip ends.
Oh no, inside what?
He's never been inside
indoors.
Never been indoors, even though we've seen him inside of two different buildings.
He's an outside frog.
Well, he grew up in the swamp.
I do want to.
Hey, we don't know that. His dad. We don't know anything about Kermit's upbringing.
That's true. This version of Kermit, who is a reporter.
Yeah, he's not from the swamp. He's from the bear cave or something. Who knows? Who cares? Who even cares where he's from?
From the big city.
Yeah.
I want to back up a quick second to the shot where Miss Piggy is crawling into the room where Neville and Dorothy are having their conversation. Which is
that looks great.
It's like such a fascinating. Like I spent a lot of time thinking about this puppetry trick. How they've got a piggy that you see full body, on all fours, crawling. So like obviously being pulled by strings of some sort, and then matching the pace, you see the ears kind of pop up behind the little what is that? The shelf, I guess. Like it pops up a little bit, and then she pokes her head up, and looks around, and you like obviously this is now Miss Piggy the puppet in Frank Oz's hand. So like they like very seamlessly switched from that crawling puppet to the real puppet.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because even watching this 2 minutes at a time, it's so seamless. I didn't even think to comment on it.
Well, and I also wonder, like, what does it look like on the other side of that that bookcase or whatever that thing is, the shelf? Because there must be a pit, a very shallow pit where Frank is sitting, or I guess he could be lying down, but I don't really see where he would be doing that. Especially because then later on, Piggy, when she says, I'll answer it, and she runs off, like she runs far enough that like Frank is not lying on his back, like he's performing with his whole body.
Yeah, I really have no idea if this is a set or if this is part of a real house. I don't know either,
but like, I mean, again, how cool is it that like, what a simple thing, Miss Piggy crawls into shot, and it's like, oh, we can do so much more. We can have two Piggy puppets, and we could seamlessly put this thing together within, like, in camera, and it's going to be awesome, and no one's going to notice until 2019 when they talk about it on the podcast.
I hope that's what they were thinking.
And then Dave Goles was like, what's a podcast?
Yep. All right. So, I was going to say, do you have any final thoughts on these minutes? But Joe, did you have anything else besides that?
Oh, man, I said so much. I think I'm going to take a break.
All right. And Anthony?
I don't have any final thoughts, because that's just the sort of spur of the moment fellow I'm not.
Uh-huh. You're so unlike Neville.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case,
such a Dorcas. My mom uses Dorcas as an insult term often.
That's
like,
great.
She'll just be like, "You're such a Dorcas" or whatever. Anyways,
I don't know that I've ever heard the name outside of this movie. Is there someone in the Bible named Dorcas?
There is. And there was actually, this has nothing to do with my mom, but there was a Dorcas in my Aunt Kim's high school graduating class, who was a good friend of my Aunt Kim. And I know that because she has mentioned her many times over the years. Huh. And when we were little, me and my brothers thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
I just Googled Dorcas, by the way. And Dorcas is from the Bible. She was a disciple who lived in Joppa, as referenced in Acts of the Apostles in the New Testament. But I don't really have enough time to like read about what she did.
There you go. Well, so the listeners can go look that up in the New Testament.
Yes, read your Bible, everybody.
Yeah. And you can also read the articles on toughpigs.com on the internet. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and all of those places. You can find me on Twitter at @MeRyanRowe. Anthony is on Twitter at ZeppoMarxist. And Joe, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, they can find me where I normally post things on the Tough Pig social media accounts, which you should be following all those anyway. But if you want to hear about, things that I say on the Twitter, it's just my name. It's just Joe Hennis. I got it before the other Joe Hennises did. And they all hate me.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks.
So everyone follow Joe Hennis. And if you're so inclined, give us a positive review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you can give us a positive review. Tell all your friends about the show and join us once again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. Bye.
Bye.
Petka. Petka. I can't do it. Petka.
Yeah, use the back of your throat.
You guys, I'm like so Scandinavian. Petka.
Petka.
There's only one ch. It's the first ch.
Petka.
No, you're doing a second ch.
Petka. You're right. I am. Petka. Petka. All right.
I don't have a back of my throat.
Cleared my sinuses.